We teach interval notation in this course. We also teach it in our intermediate algebra course, so maybe you've seen it before, don't know, but let's go through it. And interval notation has some advantages, and if you take more math, you'll see it pop up from time to time. For example, we tend to use it in parts of calculus when we have inequalities involved, and it shows up in statistics when you're talking about confidence intervals. Those are intervals of numbers, and we tend to use a type of interval notation there. So let me give you some examples of how this works. And suppose we're looking at x is less than -4. All right. So on the number line, that's everything to the left of -4. So this is less than. In the interval notation, and I'll write out the words this time. Interval notation. We would write this one as x belongs to left parentheses -infinity, comma, -4, close parentheses. So a couple of things here. This symbol is not an E symbol. Don't write E with me. That's, to me, is laziness. It's the element symbol in mathematics. And so this symbol, which is not an E, and it's not a Greek letter epsilon either. It's the element symbol. I tend to say it means belongs to. So x belongs to this interval. But more formally you would say x is an element of this interval. Alright, so x belongs to the interval, and -infinity is where this number line points to. So if you go all the way to the left, it never ends. It goes toward the negative side of infinity. And you always, without exception, you always enclose an infinity, either positive or negative infinity. You always put a parentheses next to it. Now the -4 has a parentheses because it's not equal to. It's just less than -4. So open circle, less than, it gets an open parentheses. So there it is. That's the interval notation for x is less than 4. I'll give you the other type of example that we'll run into right now. And let's do it greater than and equal to. And so suppose that we get an answer x is greater than or equal to 1. All right. So here's 1, and it's a closed circle this time because the equal sign includes the number 1 as in our solution. Shade to the right because this represents all the numbers to the right of 1. With interval notation, we write it this way. X belongs to, and I'll use a bracket this time, 1, comma, infinity. Now, to the right is positive infinity, so that's why there's no negative sign there. And again, infinity always gets a parentheses and never gets a bracket. And for the simple reason you cannot close off infinity. But the 1, because it can be equal to, we signify that with a bracket symbol. So bracket is either greater than or equal to or less than or equal to is when we use a bracket. Parentheses when you have less than, or if you have greater than without the equal sign. Alright, so I'm going to be using interval notation in all the problems from here on out for this section and the next section. And so you should see a lot of examples with the interval notation.